All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my new series. We are going to be taking you from the beginning. It's going to be a new tutorial series for all the new players that are just starting to get into the game and don't know where to begin. Well, as soon as you make a new account, they'll provide you with a little tutorial that you have to go through. It takes you through a little bit of mechanics and what to do in certain situations, and it gives you a bit of knowledge on the game. Here, what I'm trying to do is to take you further in depth of tutorials and how to play the game. I just started a brand new account here just to show you what it is and how it is when you play. So as soon as you finish the tutorial, they give you 5 decks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They give you 5 decks. Each deck represents a color here. They're very well made lists here, and it's for you to just start the game. Before you are able to join any game queue or construct a deck of your own or get a collection in general, you have to play the color challenge. And the color challenge basically is you take each and every one of these lists. You play white, you play blue, you play black, you play red, and you play green, and you have to win all these games here to unlock the list basically, and to basically start your collection. So which one do we start first? Well, you start with whichever one you want. Let's start with the white one since it's on top. They already gave you a white list here, and white is the color that resembles basically peace, hope, all of that. You know, it resembles like creatures like angels, like cats, like priests and stuff like that. The list has some mechanics here and there. There are instant cards, there are enchantment cards, there are creatures which you can deal damage with, block with, and that's how you win the game basically. There are creatures that have a mechanic sort of like double strike, which I will get more in depth in, and there are like more enchantments and more instants and sorceries here. 25 lands. The lands are absolutely required of you to play the game. This is a 68 card deck. Usually, when you play, you need a 60 out of 60 card deck for the consistency. So for now, let's just jump into a game here and take you through the gameplay, right? So keep the peace. That's the name of the deck. We're going to start with the first color, which is white. Let's see where it takes us. Alright, so we're already starting the game. We're playing against red. It seems like red resembles speed, aggression, and a lot of like burn damage, right? Burn damage is usually through creatures or spells. So over here we have a very decent hand with a healthy amount of creatures here, but what we want to do is play in sequence. So we play a land and pass because we don't have anything to play for 1 mana. They're swarming the battlefield with goblins here, which is okay. So over here, you play another planes, and you have to look at your hand and look at all the effects of your creatures. This is where sequencing is very important. For example, you have Impassioned Orator and Hallowed Priest. Hallowed Priest says whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on Hallowed Priest, right? Whenever you gain life. So how do you make this creature bigger? Well, you play something like Impassioned Orator. It says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. So you have to play this first in order for your priests to get bigger. So on turn 2, we're going to play this first, and we're going to pass our turn. It's a 2/2, and they have 1/1s, which we can easily block with, right? They played an enchantment here that says whenever they attack with power 2 or less, they deal 1 damage to us. So as you can see, red is a very fast and aggressive color, right? We're going to play another planes here, and we're going to start getting these down just so they can get value as shown. Whenever they get down, our Orator triggers, gains life, our priest gets bigger that way. I'm not going to attack here because they have 1/1s that they can block with, and we kind of need this card to keep getting our priests bigger. Next turn, we have a very important turn. So over here, we drew another Orator, right? Usually, you wanted to play your Hallowed Priest and the Shrine Keeper here, but let's get down the other Orator. First, the Orator has to be first so that our creatures can benefit off of the +1/+1 counters and the life gain that we're getting, right? See, they're getting a lot of power and toughness. Over here, they can block technically, but it won't kill our creatures, so let's attack with the Hallowed Priest. They decided to chump block, which is block with 1 creature that takes all of the damage, which is okay. We drew a very good card here, a 6 mana card, so it requires 6 lands. With that being said, we only have 5 lands. We can't cast it this turn, but we have the 6th plains for next turn. So here we just go for the Shrine Keeper to trigger our Orators. We gain life, and then our Hallowed Priests get bigger, right? Every life they gain, since we have 2, they get bigger. So over here we can attack with these 2 comfortably because they're really, really big. They decided to chump block again, but they didn't offer the Minotaur here, which is fine. They played a dragon that has haste. Haste is a mechanic where it doesn't suffer from summoning sickness, basically. So over here they attacked, right? I'm not going to block here. I'm going to pass because I don't want to give them one of my Orators. If we double block to kill this, they can just assign the damage to the Orator and we end up losing it. So over here we just play an Inspiring Commander because it's a very good 6 mana drop here that we can even draw off of it thanks to its effect. We gain more life, triggering the Orators here, and now we attack all in here, and that was more than enough to finish off our opponent, which is very, very good. So far so good, very successful game. We move on to the next one. It says upgrade deck, so add to deck. Alright, so let's see what the upgrade deck is. Yeah, so just hit the upgrade deck so we can benefit off of the new cards that we acquired. We're going to be playing against black, and black is usually a color that resembles removal and resembles instant speed and death touch. Death touch is a mechanic where no matter how many damage or how much damage that creature deals, it'll always kill a bigger creature, always. So we've drawn a similar hand here. And this hand is very good. They're attacking with their Death Touch creature, right? So Death Touch says any amount of damage a source with Death Touch deals to a creature is enough to destroy it. So even if we had a 5/5 creature that was dealt 1 damage, our creature will die. So over here we played a land for our turn 2, and we're going to lead with the Orators again so that we start gaining life and our priest gets big. That's the idea here. Alright. So they played this. Whenever an opponent controls a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1 counter on Malakir Coldblade. Okay, so if we block, our creature is going to die even though it's bigger because this has Death Touch. And when our creature dies, their other creature gets big. So over here, since we're gaining life with the Orator, we're not going to block. I'm going to play the other land here, and what I want to do personally is get this creature down before the priest so that we have 2 life gain. 2 lives to gain every time we play a creature. So next turn this is going to get significantly big. So that's pretty good. I'm going to play this. We're going to gain 1 life. So we took damage, but it's fine. Now I'm actually going to attack with my Orator because this can't block or it doesn't have Death Touch. So it's pretty good. Alright, so they're attacking here again. We're going to keep passing because we can gain life all the time. So over here, we're going to play our Hallowed Priest here. Get it down. Have it become significantly big. Alright, and we're going to attack with both of these. Because they keep attacking with their Death Touch creature, which is not a problem, right? We're still at 20 life. Alright, they played a flyer. Whenever a creature dealt damage, dies, put a +1 counter. Okay, so they're still attacking with this. We're not going to block, of course, because we don't want our creature to die. We're going to play a land here, and then we're going to play Angelic Reward. It's an enchantment that gives flying to our Hallowed Priest. It's a 6/6 now, which is pretty good. So we're going to attack with this only, because they have a 4/4 that they can easily kill our Orators with. Yeah, they're still attacking here. We're not going to take blocks. We're playing a tempo game. Tempo is basically when you attack in a specific time and block in a specific time, right? So over here we don't have a good block. We don't want to lose our creatures. This is a very good draw as well. We're going to play a land here. We're going to play the other priest here. We're going to gain 2 life thanks to the Orators, and that's going to trigger both of our priests, and that's enough for us to deal damage and win the game basically. You just attack with your priest. You can attack with both of these as well because they only have a 1/1 blocker, and that's how we win the game, which is pretty good. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Alright, we hit upgrade deck again because we've collected some new cards. Okay. Let's play against blue. Blue is usually a color that's associated with control, and control is the mechanic where you try to control the game basically by using the tempo mechanic. Alright, so we're playing against blue. We are going second. Fairly decent hand here, but we're gonna play a land and pass. So blue usually use a lot of counter spells as well. I'm gonna play a creature here on turn 2 and pass. Blue doesn't usually have creature removal or good creature removal here. So I'm gonna play another, or we attack first. Let's attack first, see if they have any combat tricks. They don't. We're gonna play a creature here and pass. Pass the turn. So far nothing from our opponent. Alright, a 2-1. That's pretty good. Alright, so over here what we want to do is I'm going to attack with both of my creatures here, but our creatures have a mechanic. So I'm going to trigger this by paying 3 mana against First Strike. So First Strike gives it the ability to hit first. So your opponent's creature doesn't deal damage to you. Your creature just hits it first, right? So it gives it the ability to basically hit faster. Alright, so they played a 4-4, which we have a perfect card for over here. So what I want to do here, I have 5 mana, right? So I can pay the 3 to give it First Strike, and then use my combat trick cards at instant speed. So what we do is we bait their block, we attack first, they block, right? I'm going to use this effect here, pay 3 mana, I give it First Strike so their creature doesn't hit my creature, right? And I'm going to play a tactical advantage. It becomes a 4-4. We hit their creature first so we don't lose our creature. First Strike usually, this creature deals combat damage before creatures without First Strike. So if their creature had First Strike as well, the damage is going to be equal, right? They are both going to deal damage to each other here. So what I think I'm going to do here is do basically the same thing, just attack, bait their block. We're going to take their block. I'm going to activate my creature's effect, and we're going to play a tactical damage here. Tactical advantage. We're going to end up killing their creature. We managed to kill 4 4s with only 2 2s thanks to effects and combat tricks. Alright, they played another one. So now, since we're out of combat tricks here, I'm going to play a land and play this. It's a 7 mana creature, and we're going to pass because we no longer can give them First Strike or make them big. This creature says whenever it attacks other creatures you control, gain double strike until end of turn. Yeah, so our opponent here is drawing cards. Drawing cards is usually associated with the blue color, right? They decided to attack with their 4-4. So thanks to this card's effect, whenever we attack, we're going to gain double strike. And double strike says this creature deals both First Strike and regular combat damage. So it deals twice the damage, but it has First Strike as well. So it starts by dealing the damage, and then it deals other damage as well. So what we're going to do here, we're going to attack first. This is a very good card. This here taps our opponent's creatures here, but we don't want to do that for now. We're just going to play a land, and we're going to go into combat and attack. So this is going to give all of our creatures double strike. They decide to block. See, you kill it first because double strike has First Strike as well. And over here, yeah, we're dealing double the damage, which is fine. Nice. I'm going to play a creature here, and we're going to pass our turn. This is more of a combat trick kind of card, or not combat trick because it's sorcery speed. Sorcery speed, you can't activate it at any time. Sorcery speed, you can only activate sorcery speed spells on your turn. Alright, so they played a lot of creatures. They've established the board. They decided to attack, so we can finish them off next turn by playing our spell here. I'm going to play a Plains, and I'm going to cast Bond of Discipline here, which taps all of their creature. And a tapped creature cannot block or attack. Also, it gives all of our creatures lifelink here, so we're going to proceed to combat, attack, give double strike, and we're going to win the game that way, which is pretty good. Alright, so this is more of a in-depth guide on how to play the white deck if you're starting off with white, right? We're going to hit upgrade deck, and we're going to move on to face the color green. So the color green is usually associated with big creatures, beasts, monsters, just a lot of board presence, and board presence means they have a lot of creatures on the board and a lot of big creatures as well. Alright, so we're going to play an island plains here. We're going to play another plains here, and we have a choice. We're going to play a creature here. A creature that has double strike, and double strike is the same thing as I told you. It deals twice that damage. Alright, so they played a 1/6. So we're going to play a plains here. So if we attack, it's a 1/6. So even if we deal 1 and 2 damage, it's not going to get killed, right? It's actually going to end up killing our creature, because once we deal the first strike damage and then the other damage, their creature, if it doesn't die, it's going to deal 1 damage to us. So what we can do here is either get this big, which I'm going to do as shown. So we're going to attack. They decide to block. We're going to play tactical advantage on our creature, making it a 3/3, and now it deals double that damage. It dealt the first strike damage. Now it's going to deal the combat damage. Nice. So we only take 1 damage thanks to our spell here. We're going to play another creature here to apply pressure, right? And pass the turn. That's pretty good. They play another one of those, which is fine. Alright. We have tactical advantages here, which is good. Alright, so we're going to attack with both. We're going to do the same thing all over again. Yeah, make it into a 3/3, and now it deals twice that damage. Double strike is a very good mechanic here. Alright, then we're going to pass the turn. Let's see, they played a 10/10, which is sort of a problem, but we've drawn the perfect card for that. So Pacifism is a 2-mana enchantment that says enchanted creature can't attack or block. So we want this enchantment to target their creature so that we can attack through it. Nice. So their creature now can't block, which leads us to happily attack, dealing a lot of damage because of double strike. Alright. They played this that has hexproof. So hexproof says a player or a permanent with hexproof can't be targeted of spells or abilities your opponent controls. So we have another pacifism here, but we can't target our opponent's creature because it has hexproof. As you can see here, see? We can't target it. It's not highlighted. It has hexproof. Hexproof basically makes it unable to be targeted by any spell. So what we do here, since it's a 5/3, we have 1/1s, right? But our 1/1s can kill this creature easily thanks to our tactical advantage. So we're going to continue to attack here. We want to bait them into blocking here. We're going to play tactical advantage on our fencing ace here. It becomes a 3/3. It deals first strike damage, so it kills it right away because it's a 3 toughness creature. And then we end our turn here. We don't want to play another pacifism on this creature here. We're going to play the other pacifism on this. So that's what I'm going to do here, is just lead with the pacifism and just continue to attack, right? Their creatures are immobilized. They can't attack or block, so their presence means nothing on the battlefield here. So this is a pretty good card here. I think we can put an end to this game here. We could have played an angel, but I think this card gives 3/3, and you can deal 8 damage that way, right? Because this is 4 damage, and you deal it twice, so that's pretty good. We proceed as shown, and that puts an end to it. Nice. Alright. Alright, nice. So return to collection, upgrade our collection. So every time you win a game, you upgrade your collection. So let's hit upgrade deck. And now we're going to play the last. So whenever you finish this, you gain a card style, and card style is basically like this borderless card. It's just a style. It's just for art. It has this little movement in it as well. So let's play our last game here to unlock the white deck. Nice. So we have an opening hand here. So whenever you start a game, usually you can start by mulliganing. A mulligan means you will return 1 card to the bottom of your library, and it's just like if you don't like your hand, you can take a mulligan. If your hand has too little lands, you can take a mulligan, or too many lands, you can take a mulligan. The ideal hand is to have a healthy curve, which is something to play on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and at least 2 lands to accompany that hand. So looking at this hand, I like it. We have a turn 1 play, we have turn 2 play, and then very expensive spells. So we're relying on early pressure here. So I think I'm going to keep this. And yeah, we go from here. Let's see what we can do with this hand. 5 mana spells, and we currently don't have 5 mana. They're playing blue, so we're going to lead with the Charmed Stray here. It says when Charmed Stray enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on it for each creature you control named Charmed Stray. So when we're going to play this, we're going to get value off of it, right? So we have a choice. It's either we lead with this or we play another Charmed Stray. I think I'm going to lead with the more pressing matter here. The creature that puts more pressure, right? Since they played 2 lands and they still haven't played a threat yet, we need to kind of apply pressure, especially since we're going first. Or actually, they went first, which is not a problem. They went first, but they still haven't played anything significant, right? Alright, now is when they played their first creature. So this creature here says, creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast. Flying is a creature that can attack over the top. We can't block it with creatures on the battlefield that don't have flying or don't have reach. Alright, so seeing this here is kind of a problem for us, but it's okay, right? We can do a lot of things. We have a lot of mechanics in hand. So I'm going to play another Charmed Stray here. I'm going to save my my pacifism for something else here, and we can attack right through. We can attack here. If they decide to take the block, we're going to tactical advantage. They decide to not take the block, which is fine. We're going to end our turn here and save our removal cards or disruption cards. It's very important for you to save your disruption cards. You don't want to play them on creatures right away, right? You want to play them on their big creatures, the ones that are really game deciding. So they're deciding to attack here, which is fine. Let's see what they're going to do. They probably have a follow-up. Alright, so they do have a follow-up. A 2/1 with flying that when it enters the battlefield, it draws a card. So this is pretty good. We're going to play a land here. But since they only have 1 blocker as a 2/1, and we have 1/1s, we have 2/2, and we have 1 with double strike here, what I'm going to do here is just attack all in. Because I'm willing to trade any of these with this 1 creature, right? And we have to always apply that pressure. If we are a creature deck, if we rely on having board presence to attack and win. Alright, so they gave this a 2/4 with hexproof, so now they can block with it. So what we can do here is we can kill that comfortably and save our Charmed Stray. So I'm going to target my Charmed Stray with tactical advantage as a combat trick. It becomes a 4/4 that has lifelink. So lifelink is another mechanic that says damage dealt by a creature planeswalker, or spell with lifelink also causes its controller to gain that much life. So since we dealt 4 damage, we're going to gain 4 life, which is pretty good. I'm still not going to play my pacifism. I'm saving it for their big creature that we are going to need to block or get through. So this is pretty good. They had a combat trick of choice, but we actually had a better combat trick which saved our creature and managed to deal more damage that way. So they played a spell here to draw a card. The spell costs 1 less to cast because they have a flyer, right? So it synergizes with each other very, very well, actually. Alright, they decided to play another creature here. And they're leaving creatures back, right? They're not deciding to attack. So this one says, whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, this creature gets +1 until end of turn. So what do we do here? What do you think is the most ideal play here? I think the most ideal play for me is to play the Hallowed Priest and I'm going to attack with both of these, right? Only both of these, because this is a 1/1. They can easily block it with this and we lose this creature. But at the same time, since we have a Hallowed Priest that benefits off of gaining life, and this has lifelink, I'm going to attack with it just for the sake of getting the Hallowed Priest big. So we're going to attack and see what happens here. This has double strike, so it can deal double the 1/1. Yeah, they took the block on this. So my Hallowed Priest gets big because we dealt damage with 2 lifelinkers, which is pretty good. And we're going to pass our turn. Alright, so they had an enchantment that says enchant target creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So at every untap step, which is at the beginning of your turn, everything tapped, every permanent tapped, like planes, like lands, creatures, everything that's tapped gets untapped. But they played a spell where it says like it doesn't get untapped. And so what do you think is the most ideal thing here? We're gonna play a planes here, and we have Angelic Reward or a Spiritual Guardian. So we can play the Guardian to gain 4 life, but it's not really all that explosive. We want to put an end to this game. So we're going to play Angelic Reward here on the Fencing Ace because it has double strike. So if we get this big, this becomes a 4/4, which we can deal double that damage, right? So I'm just going to attack with this one here. It deals double that damage thanks to its double strike ability or mechanic. They're making it a little harder for us here, but it's okay. So now they played the similar spell here. We don't get to untap, and since we don't untap these, we can't really do anything with them. We can't attack or block or anything. So what I'm going to do here is, since I only have 1 damage that's required to finish the game, I'm going to use my pacifism on their creatures so that it won't be able to block, and I'm going to attack through it. And that's how we put an end to the game. GG's. Alright, so we finished the white list. We actually ran through all the matches. We gained some wild cards, and wild cards are usually cards that you can use to craft new cards depending on the rarity. So we finished the white deck here. So what we have left is blue, black, red, and green. Let's go to the deck guide here. Let's go my decks. We have this unlocked. As you can see, the other ones are not really unlocked. We have the white list unlocked. So let's take a look at the white list real quick. Let's click over here to change it up. So nice. Let's actually minimize on that. Nice. Okay, so we have a brand new collection of cards here. And these are all the ones that we can use, right? But since it's a white deck, we were just going to use white cards here. So it's pretty good. As you can see, the list has 71 out of 60 cards. So you need to cut these down. I'm going to hit apply styles here. We're going to need to cut this down. You can use your wild cards to craft cards. Let's say you wanted to craft an extra copy of the orator, right? You wanted 4 orators. It says 4, but it's highlighted in a dark color. You hit craft all, and it says turn 1 common wild card into a card from this deck. This action can't be undone. So once you spend your wild cards, you can't get them back. So you have to craft cards that you know you really need. So if you look at your wild card collection, you have 2 commons and 1 uncommon, and then you have 0 rares and 0 mythic rares. And these are you're going to obtain these the more or the faster you go into the game. So in order for me to finish this deck up and make it 60 out of 60, and you actually do require to play 60 out of 60 cards to make it more consistent, right? Land to card ratio. So what you're going to need to do here, we need 3 for now. I'm going to keep it as 3 Impassioned Orator. This creature has been good for us, right? This card has been good. This card has been good. In order for you to play this card and to get value off of it, you need 4 copies, right? Because you need to play more than 1 copy to put +1/+1 counters on it. So what I think I'm going to cut here, this is a pretty good top end. These are all pretty good here. It gives lifelink. So what do we cut? This creature has been good, but it's for me, I think it's a little too slow. I do like our other creatures here, especially the life gain. So I'm going to cut the Passionate Orator to 2 actually, because we only have 4 creatures that benefit off of the Orator anyway, along with Angel of Vitality, I guess. So we can make this into, we can cut this by removing this. That leaves us with 66 cards, right? We can probably cut this because in my opinion it's a little too slow. Even though it won us a game, it's still a little too slow in my opinion. And I do like the fact that we have angels that fly over the top, so that would be a better top end for me. I'm going to cut this. We have we have a nice amount of angels. We have pacifism. Let's look here. We have 29 creatures to 11 non-creatures. Okay. So what else do you think we should cut? I don't necessarily like this card here. I think you gain 4 life. We have a lot of things that can gain life, right? We have this that gains us life. This has life link. This makes cats tokens that have life links as well. So I think I'm going to end up cutting this. I like this. I like this creature here as a 4 of because it has a very good effect, especially with our list here. It says whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. So we have a lot of life gain within the list here. So I think, in my opinion, this one says whenever 1 or more creatures you control attack, they gain indestructible until end of turn. So a 6 mana 5/5 is pretty decent here for me. I think the rest of the cuts are going to have to be. I do like pacifism because it stops any creature, no matter how big it is, right? And an enchantment like this. This also gives lifelink and it tempos quite a bit here. So I think I'm gonna cut this. I think I'm gonna cut the Angelic Guardian as well, even though it gives indestructible. But maybe we can cut one of these, right? It's also very good for you to have a low curve kind of deck, just so you have a lot of things to play at the start of the game, more than at the end of the game, right? So since we have a relatively low curve list with average converted mana cost 2.8, so the average mana cost of your stuff to play is usually 2.8, so you need 3 or 4 lands that accompany that. So 25 lands can be a little too much. The least you can go is 24 lands for a curve like this. So I'm going to go 24 lands. I'm going to cut one of these as well, and that leaves us with 60 cards. I think this is the list that I will go with from now on. We have a healthy top end within Angelic Guardian, within Angelic Reward and Sarah Angel here. And we also have a very good 4 mana play that we can play on curve that provides us with 2 cats. So this is a 4/4 that makes 2 1/1s that have lifelink. We have an angel on turn 3 that can go over the top and that can get bigger if you have 25 life or more, which we can easily do that with the amount of life gain that we have. And then we have a healthy amount of removal and disruption and combat tricks here as well, right? With Confront the Assault, Angelic Reward, our pacifism, and tactical advantage. So this does it for me for the white list. If this is the list that you are going to decide to play first, I think this is the best version of it. If you struggle with lands in any way, make sure you raise it up to 25 lands only and not any more than that. And what I would do is I would probably cut either Angel of Vitality 1 copy or Leonin War Leader 1 copy, but it's a rare card that's very good and that provides you with a lot of value. So for now, we're gonna keep it at 4/4. We're gonna do the planes here, and that does it for our list, right? Now you can go home, right? They're showing you all the banned cards. You'll slowly get more and more into this. These are the banned cards in Historic, and this is the banned card in Explorer. And it says get started, right? So these over here are all daily rewards, right? Whenever you finish the reward or you play against on it, it says cast 20 red or green spells. So if you cast 20 or red or green spells, you get 500 gold, and the gold coins you can use in the store, whether you want to buy significant stuff from the store, or you want to buy packs. And packs are usually over here. When you click on packs, you see all the packs, you purchase the packs depending on how much gold you have, and you go from there. The more you open packs, the more your collection expands, your card collection expands, and then the more decks you're able to play. Of course, you can play this slow, and you can just play depending on your daily rewards, and the more you get, as soon as you continue or you finish the color challenge here, you're going to start getting more decks to play even. So what you want to do here is either you can now, I think, yeah, you can't play ranked just yet because you need to finish off all the color challenge here, but you can play standard play and test out these lists here. I don't think you can play any of these any yet. You have to finish the color challenge first. So in order for you to go to the color challenge, you just click on this, finish all of these. Similar thing, I'm going to make a video about each and every of these decks and how I finish it up at the end of acquiring the cards, and take you from there. So if you like the new tutorial here, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for way more tutorials. I'm going to be going in depth when it comes to mechanics, when it comes to cards, when it comes to playing budget, or when it comes to playing with high tier cards as well. I have two accounts. I recently started this account just to showcase how it is in the beginning when you actually start the game. And then with my other account, which is the account that I've been playing with for a long time, I have more cards, and we'll take it from there. So with that being said, enjoy the video, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later with another tutorial. Okay?